When we're manifesting, it's very easy to get into the thinking that we're trying to convince an outside universe or an outside God to please give me what I want. We all do it. I'm sure even before you knew about manifestation, you've said a prayer like that before. Please, God, please let me have this. The truth is, and the understanding of this is what changed my life in the manifestation side of me, the conscious manifestation side of me, my awareness. When I understood that I'm not convincing or begging an outside anything, I am the thing that is giving me the manifestation, the experience in reality. I am. I'm giving myself permission. Tools, techniques are helping you to give yourself permission to have whatever it is you're manifesting. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Hello, my fellow flawless, limitless, sexy, sassy, saucy HBICs. How are you on this lovely morning, afternoon, or evening? How are you all? I hope you're all doing fabulous. I hope you're all choosing to be the versions of yourself that have exactly what you want. I hope that's what you're doing. I received, what do you call it? When someone shares or mentions your name in a comment, I get the little message, the little notification over on TikTok. Well, I mean, it works on Instagram and YouTube too, but does it work on YouTube? Yes, it does. Um, I received one on TikTok from one of the fellow HBICs, Nicole, and she sent me a video that I had seen. It was multiple clips though, but I had seen one of the clips before of Bashar. And Bashar was discussing what tools and techniques are. They're permission slips. And I just thought, well, oh my gosh, what a good video. So let's talk about that. You, especially if you haven't experienced any type of movement that makes you feel confident that anything is happening in reality, it is very easy to slip into the thinking of being helpless to bring about what your desire is. Totally understand it. Definitely have felt that way along my journey. So, no judgies. But I can tell you that when I was feeling that way and I felt out of control and I felt like I was waiting on God, I was waiting on God to just hurry up and fulfill my desire. And that did not feel good. And to be honest, I didn't have the best relationship, in my opinion, with that outside source, with that outside God. And coming to the understanding of who I am as source. Now, I just want to say you don't have to accept and believe that you are source in order to manifest. You don't. But understanding it can make the journey feel just slightly easier because you realize that you really are the one in control. You really are. And by control, I mean the free will choice to be any version of yourself at any given point. And that's the other thing is when we're talking about versions of ourselves, I don't want you to feel like you're losing a sense of self. If anything, it's more gaining self, gaining, expanded awareness. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. But I would say in the early days, I didn't care about things like that. I just cared about getting my manifestation. So I bet you that's why you're watching content too. So when we use techniques, and it doesn't matter what technique we're referring to, they really are there to help you believe you are in a state of consciousness. Tools and techniques are leading you to that state, helping you embody a state, helping you in a transformative state. Now, by transformative, I mean it's when we're making that state our dominant state so that it is having an effect on our daily mood, our daily self. So you get to a point where you don't have to help yourself get into the state. You're naturally landing there. You're starting your day off in that state, even if you're grumpy in the morning like I am. And I can say from experience, yes, I experienced that. I could tell the difference between when a new state was becoming my normal, my natural, because I didn't have to do anything to get into it. I would just, like I said, start the day in it. Now, that's nothing to panic over. So if you haven't had the experience of, being in the knowing that you are going to have your desire, that's okay. That's okay. That comes with experience, and it's not going to stop you from getting your manifestation. I don't want you to think that way. That's a big misunderstanding. However, realizing that you're only trying to convince yourself, the techniques you're using to help you enter into a state are nothing but permission slips for you to accept you already are this self. So there was never anything outside of you to convince anyway. You're not waiting on your specific person to change. You're not waiting on your specific person to show up and choose you, if that's what you're manifesting. If you're manifesting money, you're really not waiting on the money to appear. Now, logically and literally, it might feel that way. It might feel that way. Maybe you don't see anything in reality that confirms to you that things are moving and grooving, but that's a whole other conversation because we don't have the bigger picture and understanding what and why we're experiencing the orchestration of our manifestation the way we are. There's always reasons, though. It's never a coincidence and it's never to punish you. But I want you to hear one thing that Neville Goddard said in regards to waiting, waiting on a manifestation. Observe your imaginal activities. Be aware of your thoughts. Be aware of what you're imagining, what you're allowing yourself to marinate in. Meaning, in some of my older content, I used a phrase called shitfuckerland. That when you're allowing yourself to sit in negative thoughts, to continuously think about past experiences that didn't feel good, that upset you, those past experiences might be the experiences that maybe broke you and your SP up, for example, and you keep replaying the breakup. How is that helping us get to the state of consciousness of the wish fulfilled? How is that? Sitting and replaying garbage. Is that helpful? No, it's not. It's willingly choosing to sit in shitfuckerland. And we don't want to be in shitfuckerland. We want to be in the wish fulfilled. But anyway, imagine better than the best you know and create a better world for yourself and others. Live as though the wish had come, even though it is yet to come, and you will shorten the period of waiting. That is directly from Neville Goddard. Now, what is Neville saying? Let me Kim that down for you. First and foremost, he's saying, imagine your ideal. Imagine a world that you would want to live in. Imagine life being exactly the way you want it to be. Let yourself enjoy imagining. So, for example, if you're manifesting a specific person, and allow yourself to imagine what would be different in your life if you and your specific person were together. Maybe you're manifesting marriage. Okay, what would be different in your life if you were married? What would be different? Think about that and enjoy it. Think good things. Now, I'm not referring to staying positive all the time, that you always got to think good thoughts, but Neville was trying to encourage you to listen. There's no limits to what you can experience. There's no limits. I don't say limitless, flawless HBICs for no reason. I'm saying it because every single one of us is. So don't limit yourself. Maybe you're living in a house that you don't exactly love, but you don't think that you make the income enough to get out of that house and buy a bigger one. Well, guess what? You're wrong. Because there is a version of you who has a beautiful house, a bigger house, Or maybe you have another idea of where you want to live. Imagine yourself doing it. Let your mind get carried away, but sometimes we don't, because we think about our logical, literal circumstances and we allow them to hold us back. We allow them to be the reason why we feel uncomfortable thinking about a better life, a life more, I don't know, extravagant, maybe a luxury life, whatever. I'm dropping things. I dropped a pen. Whatever, suits you, whatever fits your fancy. You see, it's one thing to be manifesting, everybody's got their most important manifestation. Everybody does. It's one thing to have that, but then limit yourself in other areas because you just don't see how you could ever improve in an area. And that's just you limiting yourself willfully, because nothing and no one is keeping you stuck in a place you don't want to be in. In other words, maybe you're working a job you don't exactly love and you really wish you could find a different job, or maybe you wish you had gone to a specific career path and you've never had the guts to really sit and think about, imagine working that job, working on that career path, because, well, I didn't go to college, so that's never going to happen. No, that's the story you're telling. But there is a version of you. It is in the infinite possibilities, a reality where you do work in that field or work the exact job you want. You don't have to connect the dots on how you get there. You just have to allow yourself to imagine that life. Imagining is not hard. And I know some people correlate imagining with visualizing. We think in pictures, first of all. But imagining, you're free. When you write things down on paper, you're using your imagination. When you're talking and saying affirmations, you're using your imagination. You're always using it. And you don't have to have perfect pictures. Just saying. So Neville was saying, picture the world that you really want to live in. But when it comes to the waiting, live as though the wish had come, even though it is yet to come, and you will shorten the period of waiting, which really shouldn't be anything new you're hearing. Spend your time in your wish fulfilled, allowing yourself to think about life and how it would be if the manifestation was in your face physically. Now, for some of you, manifesting a specific person, maybe your logical mind just said, I don't know how it's going to be. I've never been in a relationship before. I can't stand that answer. Do you want to know why? Because, well, then why do you want the manifestation? What about manifesting a relationship is exciting to you? What about it? Why do you want it then? Because you think it's going to make you feel a certain type of way, right? Right. So, whatever that answer is, think about it like this. If you're manifesting a relationship, a specific person, is your specific person going to have a job? Are they going to go to work every day? How would you be while your specific person is out at work? What would you be doing? What kind of things do you think you would be doing daily while your person is away at work? You can think about those things. You can think about how life would be different doing those things. This is all I'm trying to convey in this video, is that the idea, if we don't want to wait on a manifestation, if we are tired of waiting, we are tired of sitting in linear time, well, Neville tells you how. Imagine your wish fulfilled. Live as though it's here now. It's raining. I'm sorry if you hear the loud raining noise. Um, Live as though you're there. Think about what your life would be like if it was all here right now. Allow yourself to get carried away in your imagination and enjoy it. And I'm certainly not trying to tell you that you need to think about this shit 24/7. That's not the message of this video. My message is, you're not convincing an outside God, an outside universe, the outside infinite intelligence. You're convincing yourself. You're giving yourself the permission slip to have the desire. And logically, I know someone just thought, well, of course, I'm giving myself permission to have it. Why wouldn't I? Then why do you still think it's not here yet? Why do you look at reality as if it's not changing? Why are you still telling that story if you've already given yourself permission? Because if you had given yourself permission to experience your ideal, you would be viewing reality as everything I'm experiencing is a part of that manifestation, is a part of bringing me into the self that has the desire. You would view reality much differently. So think about that. You're not doing techniques to beg Jesus to send you something. You're doing the techniques to convince yourself that you are who you say you are. And that's it. When I finally understood that, let me just tell you, being in the wish fulfilled wasn't difficult. Embodying that state wasn't difficult. I only had to convince me. That should be the easy part. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, on that note, thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of this video, I would love if you gave this video a like. If you're new here, well, how you doing? I'm Kimberly. It's a little late now to tell you that. I would love if you subscribed and you came back and see me and you let me know in the comments below that you subscribed. YouTube doesn't always tell me. If you'd like to work with me in any way, shape, or form, all of that is in the drop box below. So on that note, for real, I'll see you tomorrow.